Rena MacMonegle with Entertainment Buzz. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm in the studio today with Chelsea and JD from Naughty Input. Welcome in today.
Thank you.
So Chelsea, I know you sing, and JD, you play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been working together?
About 2 years now.
Yeah, we met in June of 2019 on Craigslist, actually, where all great friendships begin.
Is that so?
That's their slogan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. You log into Craigslist where all great friendships begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, actually, yeah, when I first moved here, I had joined a band, and my original bass player, drummer, and myself, we kind of split ways, and oddly enough, put out an ad on Craigslist, and got some interesting responses, but, then this guy from California is like, hey, man, I play guitar, and so...
You guys had an electric violin player before me, didn't you?
We tried that. That didn't really work out too well. We were finding our sound. But yeah, so we met up, and basically we were kind of like, are you cool with having full control of your instrument and helping us write stuff?
And I was like, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's been all downhill from there. Just kidding.
So when you write, do you find yourself starting with the lyrics or a melody?
We kind of do both. We a lot of the time, Chelsea will have lyrics that she's already written, like years worth of songs essentially, but without music. And then I'll just like play something, and she'll be like, "Oh, I like that," and then I'll turn it into like a full progression with a verse and a chorus and all the other parts. And then she finds a way to integrate these lyrics onto that, and it works really well. I mean, we were able to, especially over quarantine, when we didn't have really many shows, and we were just getting together all the time and writing. Like, it's a really quick way to like churn out songs. Now, granted, not all of them are great, but you got to get through the bad ones to get to the good ones.
We cranked them out.
We did crank them out.
Yeah.
So musically, what are some of your biggest influences?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so I had a lot of influences growing up that ranged in a whole bunch of different spectrums. My mom was big into like Broadway because she grew up in Manhattan. So like I'd be listening to like Wicked and the Rent soundtrack, and then I'd be listening to Pink Floyd and the Beatles. But the biggest one I think would be like Joni Mitchell, Carole King. My mom actually named me after Chelsea Morning, the Joni Mitchell song. So I was really into her for a very long time. And then as I got older and started listening to more like rock and roll stuff, like I fell in love with Paramore and Hayley Williams and her style. So I was just like, I want to be her. And, tried my best and got into those like rock vocals kind of things, started listening to more like heavier stuff. I mean, I'm kind of all over the spectrum. I like metal, I love rock, classic rock, but I also like R&B, funk, I'll rap from time to time. Not in public, but like, from time to time I give it a shot. It's because it's fun and I talk fast.
Yeah. I grew up like kind of listening to classic rock, like stuff that my dad introduced me to, like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Aerosmith, Steely Dan, Pink Floyd, that kind of thing. And then like as I got older, like as early teens, I got into like grunge music and like some of the early 2000s, like kind of harder rock, that like System of a Down and stuff like that my dad wasn't necessarily into. I don't know, like I always really liked like heavy guitar based music, but then I also like funk and soul and Motown and like a lot of hip hop. Like as I've gotten older, there's a lot of great hip hop out there. Music's about like the vibe, not necessarily about the box that you put it in, so there's good music in every category.
Tell me what your first live performances were like.
So I used to teach voice lessons and take voice lessons. So I used to have to do these showcases as my live performance, and my voice teacher was very big on me playing and singing, which is not really in my comfort zone. I taught myself how to play piano and I taught myself how to play guitar, but I do not consider myself a strong player by any means. So like my very first performance, I'm sitting there singing for like millions of parents. I mean, okay, not millions, but like, either way, like lots, like hundreds. It felt like millions because I was so scared, like everyone was multiplying and like everyone's like, picture them in their underwear, and it was just...
It was definitely millions.
It was definitely millions.
It was at least 10 million.
Because Connecticut has millions of people. But no, so I would just be shaking and like sweating and like, this song that I played 6 billion times, exaggerate a lot. Either way, the song that I play a lot would just leave my brain, and I'd sit there and try, and then my pinky would hit the wrong note, and I'm swearing and playing, and it wasn't good. Just wasn't good. I've gotten better with time, thank goodness, and being able to join a band and step away from the instruments a little bit has helped the confidence a lot. Yeah.
I've done the opposite. I've like stepped away from like just being a singer and like into playing like an instrument. In my first band in high school, I was just singing because we had like 3 guitar players and like we were like no more guitar. So I would just stand there like a statue with the microphone until it was my time to sing, and like, you know, people would be like, JD, you gotta like move around and like, you know, do this. I was like, you don't understand how terrifying it is to be up there with that microphone. But over time, you kind of figure it out. And like, now that I play an instrument, it's great because I can just get lost in the instrument and like rock it out, and you know, it's like a little safety net having that there. So you know, now it's fine. Now I love performing. But yeah, back in the early days, it was pretty daunting.
A little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any live performances coming up?
We have lots.
We do have a lot.
Yeah, for the summer, our books are pretty much filled. We've got a little tour set up acoustically in Florida that we're going to be going on. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then everything else is really just kind of in town in Nashville.
We play all around Nashville and like in, you know, Bowling Green and all like, you know, within like a 100-mile radius of Nashville.
Till we get that band van, you know. We're just kind of
Yeah,
driving the
we're working
Camry
on
around.
that. Yeah, we got the Jamry.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have any new releases coming up?
Yep, so we just released our single Self-Destruct on June 18th, so we're trying to set it up that every 6 weeks we come out with more music. So we've got 4 more songs on our little EP album that we recorded over quarantine that we're going to release. Then after that, we just want to hit the studio and keep recording and just keep it continuous.
Keep it going, yeah. Steady flow of content.
Non-stop music.
Seems like what people want, you know.
Great. So where can we find you?
Everywhere.
NaughtyInput.com. That's like your hub.
Yep, so
we're on all the streaming platforms and all the social medias. And,
what he said. Yeah. So we got our tour dates on there as well. We do have the EP and some of our new releases on the website too. So if you have any issues, just naughtyinput.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.